Vicky and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you've never been here before. Thank you so much for stopping by. So for today's video, I decided to do a fresh start, fresh and glowy makeup look. I think that after the year that we've had, we could all use a little bit of a fresh start and a fresh beginning. So I decided to create this makeup look using only products that would give me a fresh, glowy skin look, which means no setting powders and only using cream and liquid products. So if you want to see how I achieve this makeup look, make sure that you keep watching. But before I get into the video, really quickly, I just wanted to say, if this is your first time here, make sure that it's not your last. Subscribe to my channel down below, and also while you're down there, hit that little notification bell so that you can always stay notified whenever I upload a new video. Also, if you like this video, make sure that you let me know by liking this video. It really does help me out a lot along the way so that I know what you want to see. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's video. So to start out this makeup look, I'm using the Art Seamless Eye Primer, and I'm going to be applying this right to my eyelid just to create a nice face. And this is the first time I've actually used this before. It feels really slick and silicone-y, so we're gonna see how that ends up working out with the eye look. This is gonna be, I think it actually is gonna work out really well because of course this is a fresh look. There's a little bit of a sheen, so that might make the look a little bit more sheared out than I had originally thought I would have on the eye, which is pretty good in my opinion. So the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using today is the Natasha Denona Peak Mini Eyeshadow Palette, and this is what it looks like. I got this in a boxy charm. So the first shade that I'm going to be going into is this one right here. It's the shade Amhara. So I'm just going to be starting the shade out in my crease. I will say that the primer is serving as a good base, but I do wish it had a little bit of pigment to it so that for people with darker skin, it could show up a little better, but it's not showing up bad. Like now that I'm looking at it, it's not showing up bad. I just wish it were a little bit more pigmented, or at least I wish it had any pigment at all. But other than that, no complaints. It's blending out really nicely as long as I'm like stamping it in first and then blending it out. Here. Now that that's all even, I'm going to take this shade right here. It's the shade Shine, and I'm going to use that on my brow bone. Okay, so just taking this little fluffy brush, I'm going to dab it in there, tab off the excess. And I am going to be touching up my brows a little bit after this. So any mistakes that I've made now aren't going to really matter. Like if I got a little bit of that shine shade on my eyebrows, I'm going to go in with a pencil later to fix that up. So now I'm going to go back into the Amhara shade, tap it off a little bit, and then go right back over it. And that's going to give us a really nice blend. I think I'm actually going to put the Shine shade that I just used on my brow bone also on my lid because I thought that that would be really nice and pretty. I'm going to spray my brush a little bit to give it more of a foiled look. Just applying that very carefully to my lid. And the same thing with the other eye. Alright, I love that. So now again, I'm going back into that Amhara shade and softening up that line just a little bit. I don't want to over blend it because I don't want to lose the definition that I do have. And now I'm going to take a blending brush and go into this brown shade right here. It's the shade Thorn. Tapping off the excess and adding definition to the outer corner of my eyes and also in the crease. I'm not going all the way in on the crease, just a little bit to add some more definition. And I'm kind of blending upwards so that the eye has a more lifted effect, because if you're pulling down and dragging down in that crease, it's going to make your whole eye drag down, and that's really not the effect that we want on our eyes. So just blending upwards and then inwards. And then the same thing on the other eye. There's a lot of fallout from this palette, however. Like I keep having to blow it and it's all over my desk. Oh, and all over my face. So it's good that we used this before we did any face makeup. So I love that. So now I'm going to take a little pause on the eye makeup. I'll be right back in a little bit to do under the eye, but now I'm going to move on to my face. So I zoomed you out so that you could see my face. I'm starting off with my face with the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. You know already I love this stuff so much. It just gives a really pretty sheen. Like it is so glowy, so glowy, and that's going to be exactly what I want for my fresh looking fresh start makeup. So blending this in between my fingers and applying this especially to the high points of my face, but all over really. So for this look, I'm not going to be using any foundation. I'm going to be using only concealer. And I'm starting out with the Benefit Boing Concealer, putting that on the high points of my face. And that shade, by the way, was number 9. I'm going to also take the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer, and this is in the shade 415 Honey. And I'm going to put this everywhere that I didn't have any lighter concealer. And this is the shade of my actual face. So the first one that I used was a little bit lighter so that it can serve as a highlight. And I'm putting the one that's my actual skin tone around the perimeter of my face and everywhere I didn't get before. And then we're going to go back in with a concealer in a second to contour. So now that that's all blended out, I'm going to be going in with the rest of my cream makeup products. And again, I'm not going to be using any powder on my face at all for this look, just because I want it to be really fresh and dewy and glowy. So the product that I'm going to be using to contour is the Benefit Boing Concealer, and this one is in the shade 12. And I'm just going to, oh, that got in my hair. I'm just going to apply this where I would normally contour. And I'm just gonna blend that out as well. And I'm blending into my hairline just because it's honestly easier to do it that way. For the perimeter of my face, I'm using the same brush that I used to highlight and use like the regular color that I use. But you'll see that when I get to my nose, which is a more fine point, I'm gonna use a small concealer brush just to blend that out. Now that that's all blended out, I'm going to go in with my cream blush. I'm using this ColourPop blush stick. This is in the shade Hooked, and this is just what it looks like. And I'm putting this on the apples of my cheeks and also on the tip of my nose. And then with my blush brush, I'm just blending this out. For my highlight today, I'm using this Iconic London Liquid Illuminator, and it's in the original shade, by the way. Just tapping where I want my highlights to go. And I'm using my finger to blend it out just because it's a little bit easier that way, or so I thought. I will say on the cheekbones, at least on my cheekbones, it was a little bit harder to blend out the liquid highlight, just so you know. I was struggling, especially on this side. I'm going to be setting my face using this Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. And that's just going to lock everything in so we don't have to use any setting powders or anything like that. I'm going to be going back into my brows to fix up everything that I did. I'm using this Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, and this is in the shade Granite. And this one is a really fine tip, so that's why I'm using this one, just to outline. Now that everything's all outlined, I'm going to go back in with the same brush and define some hairs a little bit. Just stroking upwards with this pencil. And that's going to mimic brow hairs and make the ones that you already have look more defined. To make sure everything stays in place, I'm using the Benefit Brow Setter. And this is just a clear brow gel. And I'm going to spike up those hairs and make sure that they are all standing at attention and doing exactly what I want them to do for the whole day. So now I'm going to go in with an angle brush in the shade Ahava that I used for my crease, and I'm going to put this under my eye. Add this under my eye for a little extra pop of color. Alright, now that that's done, I'm going to go in with my liner. The liquid liner that I'm going to be using today is from House Laboratories. It's the shade Punk, and this is Lady Gaga's brand. This is the best liquid liner ever. That tip is so incredible. So I'm going to go in and do a line, and I'm not going to talk during because I really don't want to mess this up. Cool. Now that that's done, I'm going to use the Lancome Monsieur Big mascara on the top of my lashes as a primer for fake lashes. And then I'm going to use the Benefit Roller Lash on my bottom lashes just to make them stand out just a little bit before putting on fake lashes. Alright, Alright, now I'm going to jump off camera for just a second and I'm going to put on fake lashes and I'll be right back. So now that my lashes are on, I'm going to go ahead and put on my lip products. I'm using 2 liquid lipsticks today. I'm using this Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in the shade Cork on my bottom lip. I'm using I know this sounds weird, I'm using this ColourPop liquid lipstick in the shade Mess Around on my top lip. And then after that I'm going to top it off with this Juvia's Place lip gloss, and this is in the shade Caramel Rose. And I'm doing this because it makes it look a little bit more contrasted with my lips. So the dark shade's gonna really highlight, that sounds weird, but it's gonna really set apart and contrast my upper lip, and my lower lip is gonna look contrasted because of the lighter shade. Ooh. That's the hardest part, is not putting my lips together. And then I'm gonna let this dry down a little bit. So I'm going to use this lip gloss only in the center of my lips. That's so pretty. So really quickly, I'm just going to jump off camera to finish getting ready, and I'll be right back with my completed look. Alright, so here's the completed look. I'm so happy with how this look turned out. It definitely is fresh and dewy. I definitely don't need any setting powder because where I am, it is the dead of winter, so my face is going to be melting off the second I walk outside. It's pretty cold right now. I'm actually filming this on December 31st, New Year's Eve, but by the time that you guys are going to be seeing this, it's going to be the new year. 2020 is going to be over and it's going to be 2021. Thank God. So I can officially say Happy New Year to you. That's so exciting to say, Happy New Year. And I can't wait to spend this year with you. But till the next time, stay kind, keep creating, take care of you, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.